gone in a pinch. May I feel take away myself. May I feel take away myself. May I feel hide like a thief in the night. May I feel get out of sight. May I feel take away myself. Take away myself. I have to utilize I weeds. Show the eye a clean pair of heels. I say, been there, done that, don't need it again, yeah. I'm not a masochist who won't play your game, to all you move, you off me, wait till the call.
Greetings, kings and queens. Welcome to another Real Stuff podcast. This is yours truly, Franco, and I'll be linking up with Flavius in a few minutes. We have a special guest today, a very special guest, and he's the president of the Garifuna Nation in Belize. And we'll be linking up with Mr. Egbert R. Higinio at 10:30. So sit back, relax, and enjoy your favorite drink, whatever you're having in your cup this morning, whether it be tea, coffee, whatever beverage you consume this time. And we'll be right back.
This is your very own sports, music, and lifestyle podcast with Flavius and Franco. Welcome.
Walking on sand and holding your hand, feel like a tourist in my own homeland, in my own homeland, enjoying the bright, the warm sunlight. Oh my God, what a beautiful sight in my own homeland. This place is so nice, wanna do everything twice. Yes, I feel as if I'm in a paradise. No matter the season, you've got every reason. This place is another little heaven. East or west, I couldn't care less. Ooh, this place, it is definitely best. My own homeland, north or south, feel free to wander about. You can jump, dance, or sing and shout in my own homeland. Give yourself a treat, a few days or a week, and you will see just what I mean. Just take my advice, everyone is nice. You feel like royalty, my friend.
Morning, Flavius. What's going on?
Morning, Franco. Morning, listeners. Well, we are seeing another morning of sun. Yesterday we had a nice morning of sun, but it went rainy after in the evening. Some big showers, which was very good. It was very, very good.
But isn't that what you guys want? Sunshine in the morning and then some showers.
Not only one that we need. Yeah, we need that. Yeah, man. We need that. So we are very, very happy about that.
That's good. That's good. That's good. You know, there was something I want to ask you. There was something, I don't know if it happened yesterday, but it was surfacing on social media, and it's some pipe burst in the street nearby Bustamante Children's Hospital.
Yes, I heard it on the news. Yes, it was not just a pipe burst; it was a
main pipe.
Yeah, major main. Yeah.
Yeah, and it seems like it was underneath the street.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I don't know how it got to get burst, but
isn't that road supposed to be one of those roads that have been well put together?
Yeah.
Because it's a major highway. It's not really highway. It's a major thoroughfare where a lot of traffic
it's a major
go up and down.
It's a major. What's the thing I'm looking for now? It's a major. It's like, let's say, a bypass. It's a major road to the National Stadium.
Yeah,
and more importantly, to the Bustamante Children's Hospital. You know, and it takes you from Tom Redcombe, where you have the Jamaica Library Service, and takes you up to Mountain View, passing the National Stadium and the Bustamante Hospital. Yeah, it's a well-traversed road, to say the least. It's a major road then. It's a small road, very short. It's a major road in the scheme of things, having the hospital on that road, you know? Yeah, and when you have event at the stadium or the sports center.
So what's the outcome on it? You hear anything else on it?
They are going to fix it temporarily in the next day or two. Kind of says a major.
No, you mean today, because there's a lot of water being wasted.
Well, I think they are stopped the water. I think, but they can't stop the water for too long. The people need the water.
That's why they have to do it immediately.
Yeah, it's going to be done immediately. But apparently they are going to change out all the pipes.
Yeah, because I'm thinking the hospital depend on that water supply as well.
Yeah, man, but you have a lot of communities, man. You have a lot of communities that I think use, you know, you have Swatterfield, and then you have Nannyville. You have a lot of communities that need that water. But what they're saying, those are very old metal pipes that need to be changed, you know.
It's a good thing.
So they're going to do a major thing after them do this quick fix. They're going to plan a major operation to get rid of all of those pipes, change the pipes completely to some more newer and more durable and healthy pipes. Those are some of the original pipes. You know, those were built even before the road was built, I think.
That's good. And it lasts long. It lasts
very long.
Over whatever, about a years, over 50 years, it lasts long.
Very long.
Lasts long.
Yeah.
Before you do your did you know, this morning, before you do your did you know, I want to hit a gospel song this morning. Another gospel song. And this one, this one is, I've listened to it. I don't know if you hear it yet, you know, but you might like it.
Okay.
You might like it. And it's one that a lot of people, well, a lot of women is gonna like it as well, because it's saying something about the ladies. So
okay, wonderful.
Sasko featuring Glacier and Robinson.
Okay.
I thank you, Lord. Mama used to pray for me. I thank you, Lord. Mama was there for me. Oh yes, I thank you, Lord. Oh Lord, oh, you made a way for me. Yeah. And yes, I thank you, Lord. Hey, oh, you delivered me. Yeah. And many times I'm on the west side and I feel so low. And many times I feel like giving up, but I got places to go. Hey, I thank the Lord. Mama used to pray for me. Mama used to pray for me. Oh, I thank the Lord. Thank you, Lord. Mama was there for me. Thank the Lord.
Thank the Lord.
Yeah, yeah. You made a way for me.
You made a way.
Yes, you did. And then I thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Lord.
Hey, you delivered me. Oh, yeah.
Mama, your words shape my destiny, my destiny. I'm so thankful for the things that you told me. Yes, I am. I can never repay you for all you've done. I remember you would say time and time again, the Lord will make a way.
Thank the Lord. Mama used to pray for me. Yeah. Oh, I thank the Lord. Mama was there for me.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank the Lord.
Thank you, Lord.
Oh, you made a way for me.
You made a way.
Yes, you did. And then I thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Lord, Lord.
You delivered me.
You delivered me.
I'm on a simple reading of it all. I said it could have me could have still not know my father. Like so much youth. Me could have have the man as bright and out all the mother could have seen she couldn't bother. Oh, I thank you, Lord.
Thank you,
Mama
Lord.
used to pray for me.
Mama used to pray for me.
I thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Lord.
Mama was there for me. Oh yes, I thank you, Lord. Oh Lord.
Oh, Lord, I thank you. Ooh.
And yes, I thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Lord.
Oh, you delivered.
You delivered me. You will rock me in your bosom and pray, pray night and day. And all my worries, all my fears would fade, fade away.
Hey, I thank the Lord.
Thank you, Lord.
Mama used to pray for me.
Mama used to pray for me.
Oh, I thank the Lord. Mama was
Thank
there
you.
for me.
Lord, I thank you. Thank you, Lord.
Thank the Lord.
Thank you, Lord.
Oh, you made a way for me.
You made a way.
Yes, you did.
You made a
And that I thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Lord.
Hey, you delivered me.
You delivered.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, thank you, Lord. Oh.
Creation child and the sound of your breath. praises, the sound of your worship fills the earth. We glorify the King in all his splendor. We bow before you, Lord of heaven and earth. The nations sing. We sing of your goodness, your faithfulness, your majesty and love. We glorify you. We join with the angels. We bow before you, Lord of heaven and earth. 'Cause you are holy, holy, holy is the Lord. You are holy, so holy, holy is the Lord. Great is our God, Lord, you are great. Great is our God, Lord, you are great. You reign in majesty, you reign in victory, you are great. You reign in majesty, you reign in victory, you are great. You reign in majesty, you reign in victory, you are great. You reign in majesty, you reign in victory, you are great.
Yes, a double-decker this morning. Glacian Robinson. Great is our God. A little spirituality, little spirit, for pep up your morning this morning. In case you're
Yes,
just
we love
joining
the
us,
spirit.
welcome to the Real Stuff Podcast.
Thank you for joining. Thank you for being with us every morning. Thank you very much.
So what you have for us today?
Well, continuing from yesterday, we are trying to look at most or all of the movies. These are box office movies or small movies, all kind of movies that were done somewhere in the Caribbean. It just shows, that the Caribbean, the beauty, you always hear me talk about the beauty of the Caribbean. And we're not talking about a one country. Talking about a Jamaica or a Cuba or, Barbados. We are talking about the entire Caribbean. Extremely beautiful. And it's a place where Hollywood looks to all the time. All the time they want to do something, even a scene. Testament to that is almost all of the James Bond series. It was created in Jamaica, but also a lot of the shows, the episodes were done in Jamaica, and a lot of other movies were done all around the Caribbean. Everybody get a touch. Everybody get to show off what they have. But it's good. It's good that you can see it in the movies, but it's also even better if you come and yourself. But we'll talk a little bit more about that through Slow to Jamaica. So we're going to look at another set of movies this morning. I think we might have even more tomorrow. But we're going to look at another nice set of movies. Some you will recognize, some you won't. But at least now you know that they, as the Caribbean, played some part, some role into these movies. So, Alison, take it away.
When Hollywood goes looking for a location that oozes tropical romance, it often turns to the Caribbean, which has been starring in both independent and big-budget films since the 1930s. Conversely, A handful of films produced in the Caribbean have found a wider audience by sharing the stories of island people, culture, and music with the world. When you're stuck at home and missing the Caribbean, pour yourself a rum drink and settle into your couch with one of these Caribbean-centric films, all of which were either set or filmed in the Caribbean. The Harder They Come. Often credited with introducing Jamaican reggae to the rest of the world, this 1972 movie stars Jimmy Cliff as lead character Ivan Martin, following him from poverty in Kingston to musical stardom before descending into an outlaw existence. The movie was produced and shot in Kingston. Dancehall Queen. Beanie Man, recording the title song for this 1997 independent film shot in Jamaica, centering on the story of a street vendor who adopts the persona of a dancehall star to outwit two violent men. To Have and Have Not. This 1944 classic starring Humphrey Bogart as an American expat and Lauren Bacall as his resistance fighter wife was written by Ernest Hemingway and set in Martinique. Safe in Hell. This racy 1931 film tells the story of a New Orleans woman who kills the man who forced her into prostitution, then flees to the fictional Caribbean island of Tortuga. The Rum Diary. AKA the other Johnny Depp Caribbean movie, The Rum Diary was set and mostly filmed in Puerto Rico, based on a Hunter S. Thompson book. The 2011 film stars Depp as a hard-drinking author and also includes scenes of carnival in St. Thomas. Along Came Polly. This 2004 romantic comedy starring an uptight Ben Stiller and free-spirited Jennifer Aniston begins and ends on a beach in St. Barth. Live and Let Die. Set primarily in New Orleans and Jamaica, this 1973 James Bond film starring Roger Moore as 007 includes memorable scenes shot in Jamaica's Green Grotto Caves, the Alligator Farm at J. Charles Swabby's Black River Safari, the Rose Hall Great House, and the Half Moon and Sans Souci resorts. Thunderball. The fourth James Bond film in the series brings 007 to the Bahamas, where he meets Spectre baddie Emilio Largo and engages in an underwater battle with his henchmen. Shot in Panavision, the big-screen action film includes a Junkanoo parade on Bay Street in Nassau, and other sites that make cameos in the movie include Love Beach, Rose Island, Clifton Pier, and Paradise Island. The Thomas Crown Affair. While the Caribbean is only a supporting actor in the art heist film, the island of Martinique takes a star turn when Pierce Brosnan's Thomas Crown takes insurance investigator Catherine Banning, played by René Russo, on an impromptu trip to his villa on the Atlantic coast of Martinique. The Island. The film adaptation of Peter Benchley's modern-day pirate thriller was set in the Bahamas and largely filmed in Abaco and Antigua. The 1980 film pits Michael Caine against an isolated colony of French pirates who have been preying on sailors for centuries. The Deep. Peter Benchley's story, The Deep, centers on a shipwreck dive gone wrong off the coast of Bermuda, but was shot in the British Virgin Islands, including underwater sequences filmed near Peter Island and featuring the wreck of the HMS Rhone. Third World Cop. A 1999 Jamaican action film about a Kingston man who joins the special forces to fight gun smugglers. Countryman. A Jamaican fisherman is the hero of this 1982 action film produced by Island Records head and Jamaica resident Chris Blackwell. Edwin Countryman Lothan, a Rastafarian fisherman, played the title role, and the soundtrack is full of reggae classics. Haven. Filmed entirely in the Cayman Islands, Haven is a tale of violent betrayal set in a paradisiacal background starring Bill Paxton, Zoe Saldana, and Orlando Bloom. The Mighty Quinn. This Denzel Washington thriller about a Caribbean police chief who tries to protect a childhood friend accused of murdering a rich resort owner was filmed in Port Antonio, Jamaica, and at the Golden Clouds Villa in Oricabessa. The Tamarind Seed. Mary Poppins headed to the Caribbean in this 1974 film starring Julie Andrews and Omar Sharif, and directed by Blake Edwards. The tale of a Cold War romance reaches its apex when the lovers meet on a Barbados beach. The spy movie was filmed in Barbados, London, and Paris. Captain Ron. Something of a cult classic, this 1992 comedy starring Kurt Russell and Martin Short in a story about a misbegotten yacht cruise through the Caribbean. Much of the film was shot in Puerto Rico, including Old San Juan, La Fortaleza, and the Puerto del Fuego Marina in Fajardo. Cool Runnings. The late John Candy stars as a Canadian bobsled coach working with a team of Jamaicans to learn the sport so they can qualify for the Winter Olympics. Very loosely based on the true story of the Jamaican bobsled team. The 1992 comedy was filmed in Discovery Bay and Kingston. Club Paradise. This 1986 comedy, a rare flop for Robin Williams, focuses on the chaotic operations of a Club Med-style resort in the fictional island of St. Nicholas, populated by a familiar cast of tourists, reggae musicians, hoteliers, developers, and corrupt local officials. The movie was shot over 4 months in Jamaica, primarily in Portland, and co-stars reggae legend Jimmy Cliff and several other prominent Jamaicans. I am Alison Goodness with today's Did You Know? Oakland, Tracy and San Jose cities. Now he Egbert R. Higinio has taught at the high school level in Belize, Oakland, Tracy and San Jose cities. Now he teaches and lectures adults on English composition, comparative literature, logic, critical thinking and introduction to philosophy at institutions such as San Jose Evergreen Valley College, Los Angeles City College, and San Jose State University. He appreciates applying critical theory to literature readings and topical concepts such as racism, justice, immigration, poverty and liberation theology. He is presently president of the Garifuna Nation, an advocacy group that promotes the indigenous rights of its people now presently living along the coast of Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua. The Garifuna people are victims of Europeans' colonialism, deterritorialization, and genocide. There are approximately 800,000 Garifuna people inhabiting the Caribbean and the Americas, including the USA. Today, the Real Stuff podcast welcomes the president of the Garifuna Nation, Egbert Higinio.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, brothers. Good morning, brothers.
Yes, welcome once again.
And thank you for joining us.
Yes, I much appreciate this, grounding, as my brother from Guyana would say, grounding with my brothers.
Yes. I know you have to get up early this morning because we're in different time zones. So, we thank you for, rising up early to see the sun as well.
Rise up.
All right. So, Flavius, you want to take it away?
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. You probably could start by first you must know this is not an interview. It's a chat session with you doing most of the talking. So
All
you
right.
probably can tell us about your position and about the Garifuna people, so our listeners can be more aware of who you are, where you started and all that.
Yeah. So I might want to give the listening audience historical synopsis of the Garifuna people, and
Yes.
because I know a lot of people out there might want to know who are the Garifuna people. Well, and some early historians would refer to us as the Black Caribs, right? The Black Caribs, the Caribbean, right? That's its name from the Western, the way of naming things. They came into this part of the world, and they met my ancestors. They met my ancestors out there, and they said, "Oh, these people must be Kaniba." They didn't have a real name. They go about naming people. So we were called the Black Caribs because we were an amalgamation, a mixture of African ancestors and Caribs, the Arawak, right?
True.
But to study our language, they would notice that most of the words in our language have Carib and Arawak derivatives, right? Of course, many linguists haven't studied or seen the African, influence in our language. That's because maybe they are doing European work. So, that needs to be studied. But anyway, the Black Caribs were located in Grenada, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, and in that area, the concentration was St. Vincent. And so when my ancestors sing, they would always bring the word Yurume. They use the word Yurume. Later on, I found out as I was growing up, because we weren't taught this in high school or even primary school. What was Yurume? Yurume, well, it's St. Vincent. Yurume is St. Vincent. That's where we, fought the French, the Spanish, and then the English. And it was the English who was the last war in 1796. We had, after 30 years of war with the British, we lost the war, right? 1796. So 1797, the British rounded up, most of the soldiers were resisting them in St. Vincent, about 5,000. So history has it. And then they put us in a little rock apartheid. They were like, fine tuning their technique of genocide. The British, right? British put us on a big rock there in St. Vincent. I haven't been there, but many of my folks have gone out there. Balisao is that big island that nothing grows on. And the British rounded us up there and put us there. Apparently, I don't know what happened. They must have had a change of heart, or they decided to use us some more. So of the 5,000 that were rounded up, according to the history books, we don't know if those numbers are accurate. Could have been more. And they took 2,500 thereabouts, and they wanted to drop us off at Jamaica. Some of the historians said, but apparently they said no, too many Maroons there. We would maybe join forces again and then be in trouble. So they took us. So they took us and dumped us over there in Honduras, Rotan.
Okay.
So, when you're reading history and, they're not telling you the truth, you have to read between the lines. Why did they take us all the way to Honduras? So I said, they wanted to disturb the Spanish because the Spanish had taken over that part of the world. So we were used as cannon fodder, right? Cannon fodder, you throw raw meat at your enemy so they could wear out themselves. So because we were resilient and great fighters out in St. Vincent, say, let's just dump them there on the Spanish coast, right, and see how they survive. Well, so that's 1797. We were out there in Honduras when they dumped us. They call it exile. They said they exile us. No, it was just get rid of them. Get rid of them anyway. Don't dump them over in the ocean. They use them, for cannon fodder. And by 1801, there's records in the European book that says, well, the Garifunas were already in the mainland of Honduras from Rotan, and Guatemala, on the coast of Guatemala, and Belize by 1801. That's because my ancestors were seafaring people. They know how to navigate the boat. They're great swimmers, and also, we are the knowledge because they've been in contact with French, Spanish, so they knew how to negotiate themselves, right? So by 1801, the Garifunas were already in Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua along the coast, making settlements. Strategically, I think, right? They spread out, so that, they could have dealt with the, atrocities of the Western civilization that came upon us since 1400.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
And right now, from that 2,500 that landed in Honduras since the 1800s, we are at a population of 800,000 going to 1 million, I think. We have to do the work in terms of, doing the population census to see where our people are.
So it should be 1 million now.
One of the things, because when the authorities they don't want to give us the power that we have, and especially I'm amazed at my ancestors how much they brought with them. We still have the language, we have the spiritual African-ness, spirituality. We have the songs, old language, the drumming, and the food, technology, and man, it's amazing. For small group of people,
it's actually quite amazing, yes, to retain so much, so much. But why and how did so many got to Belize? Because right now Belize probably has the biggest population.
So the records show that in Belize we have about 6% Garifuna, 6% of the population of 300,000 Belizeans. I say 10% because I never believe those figures, and it's just easier my math. So 10% of 300,000 make it 30,000 Garifuna, right? But we bring so much to the to Belize, 30,000 people. The drum when people come on the November 19th, which is this year, I think they just be virtual commemoration. November 19th is a big day in Dangrega, my homeland, my home in Belize, and the country recognizes, our resilience. As a matter of fact, the United Nations has recognized, the music, the song, the art of the Garifunas, an intangible for the humanity to celebrate. Right? In 2001, the United Nations said, hey, this is something wonderful that's going on. The intangible things of song, music, language, are something that humans preserve, right? So we have 30,000 in Belize. And Honduras has the largest with 1,000. And there's a pocket.
How much is in Honduras? How much is in Honduras?
300,000.
300,000. How much is in Belize?
30,000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Guatemala, another 20, and Nicaragua, I'm not too sure. Nicaragua.
So Flavius.
Yeah, and then we
none didn't reach Jamaica. None didn't reach Jamaica.
I would.
Yeah, go ahead, Franco.
No, I'm asking if any reached Jamaica. Maybe Egbert can. Mr. Egbert can.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's the work we have to do, I think, because I met a sister in Trinidad. We were at a conference together, and I made some comments in reference to my sisters, and she came up to me later on and said, hey, we got to talk. Because my grandmother told me, like, when the war broke out, in St. Vincent, a few people took off on their boat, in their doors and stuff. And, they had connection with St. Lucia. You could look at the map, you could see how these islands, because these people, my ancestors were very good with the boat, navigating boats. They knew how to to move out. Some people moved to Grenada, some went to Trinidad, and waited. As a matter of fact, Franco, I want the listeners to grasp this.
Mm-hmm.
We inland, right? Belize, Honduras, Guatemala have the language, the music, the drumming, the food, technology. When we started connecting with St. Vincent, there was nothing there.
Mm-hmm.
The people, no language, no drumming, no music, no singing, nothing. They said, what happened? The British told them not to produce, say nothing, forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so the people encouraging us to inland say, come back, teach us the language, teach us the drumming, teach us the dance, teach us the food. But and the only connection we seem to have is when we go to the Balisal, where there are still like bones, skulls of our ancestors who were starved to death on that island.
Mm-hmm.
Then we could connect that story and say, oh, this is what happened. So they scared the people, made them frightened, right? And then invented kept the language. That's how wicked the West civilization, so-called civilization was.
Yeah.
People. So people are in Lucia, some people.
What are you saying, Flavius?
No, a few years ago, when they had the general election in St. Vincent, the opposition leader had said that if he had won the election, he would have repatriated the Garifunas to St. Vincent.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it was not physically possible, but even ceremonially, he would have done that. But after he lost the election, I didn't hear anything more about that.
Yes. I ran into a YouTube video where he had made those pronouncements. We welcome that. It's a sign of brotherhood. Connection. Reaching over the Atlantic and the Caribbean Sea to make commemorate these our disconnection, so to speak. Where we are making every effort. I know of other in Belize who have the National Garifuna Council has made several I call them people call it pilgrimage, but going back in groups, right? I know of a group in Honduras that took his whole drama group over to teach the language, to dance, and to make connections. There's a documentary with that. And there's a documentary out too by a sister who is trying to teach the world as what happened in 1797 when that genocide effort by the British was carried out. In cahoots with the other Europeans who wanted to share the island, right?
I see. Because, sometimes I know there's so many nations, and I kind of, get mixed up at times. So when I hear people mention, because I remember one time I was reading something that they had mentioned the Caribs and the Garifuna.
Yeah.
Like they are the same people. I'm not, sure.
So there is brother Eric Williams, Dr. Eric Williams from Trinidad did some work. He must have gone to Spain, wherever Columbus had his journal, right? And he was writing in his journal, and some of the time we kind of doubted whether he was doing the writing or somebody else was doing the writing for him. For Columbus, Columbus.
Yeah.
And so Dr. Eric Williams did a translation from Spanish to English. And in that book, I still have the book with me here somewhere, documents of, history and by Dr. Eric Williams. And I was reading through it. So it seems like the Caribs, right, were one branch of civilization moving up from there, Guyana, thereabouts, Guyana, and Venezuela, right? The Orinoco. So you could see when you look at the map, that coming up from Venezuela, where the Caribs had a large civilization, they were perhaps nomadic people, following the Arawaks. The Arawaks were like ahead, you know what I mean? A couple of Arawaks ended up in Cuba and Jamaica, right?
Yeah.
So the Caribs were pursuing the Arawaks. And so by pursuing, according to the way the British and the Europeans write it, they said the Caribs are pursuing the Arawaks. So, I don't know much about history. I'm not a historian, but you could make the analysis, say, well, the Arawaks and the Caribbean had some, relationships. Some were hostile, some were friendly. So people mixed up, right? By the time they got up to St. Vincent, there were Africans there, right? And one could have said, well, this was like a haven for the Africans because, there was slave trade going on in Barbados and a few islands. So people could run and hide out. You know what I mean? That's what we do. We connect with our brothers when we get anywhere. We never, that's why I have a strange relationship with the new word diaspora. But I can't relate to that diaspora word. We're always connected.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're connected. We belong to, one of the biggest, continents. What that people all refer to is ours. So when we connect, right?
True.
So, but these Arawaks that were, and Caribs that had a civilization and a language going. So we interacted, and the Africans, right, in St. Vincent, I have a strong feeling that most of the strongest component of the Africans on that island of St. Vincent were from the western part of Africa, like Mali, Guinea.
Okay.
The Mali, I want to suspect it's the Mali civilization because the civilization from Mali was very big. It even included part of Ghana, present Ghana, right? So the people must have been like innovative to say, well, we will use this language, the Carib Arawak, because those are linguistically what is found in the language, right? And so we kind of like Africanize it with our culture, so to speak.
Okay. In your teaching, right, since you've been in the U.S., you have come across a lot of Garifuna as well, different we call it settings in the U.S. Are there any in the U.S.?
Yeah, we have a large population. I think the largest population would still be from Honduras, right? Because we have a population from Honduras, and something about the Honduras government, which is in calcitrant, disrespect for Black people. The Honduras government is totally out of order. Totally. This militarized government that they have there has total disrespect. And I come across a lot of Garifunas in the U.S. And they're big pockets, big, groupings in New York, like in the Bronx.
Okay.
And the Honduranians, and then we have a small, Belizeans, and also California, Los Angeles, as you would expect, right? That was like a magnet for Garifunas from Belize and Honduras, and then there's another large group in Chicago, Chicago, and that's a very interesting.
You have those big cities, have them, man.
Yeah. So. Question I said, but if you look at geography, you'd want to think people would go to Miami.
That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking maybe some in Miami.
No, Miami. I mean, we would say around the table, no man, that's Miami. I've been so funky. We go to where the soul is, right? The soul. Music. And where we are generally, right? We're making the connection. Music was coming out from Los Angeles, right? Black music.
Yeah.
And so where Black people go, where the soul is, right?
True.
Where the soul, and we mix it up, we borrow, we lend, we take from each other, and try to at home, that's how we move. And New York too, because, I think somebody must have said, hey, A lot of we over there, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
True.
Like that. So you don't make things complicated. You know, when you really study, you know, the phenomena of how we move.
Mm-hmm.
We move
Can you tell us how the Garifunas in Belize, how they fit into the regular political system or the governance of Belize? What, you know, how is the Garifuna governed then?
How we govern, how we interact with the government.
Yes.
Yes. So we have a long history with the governance of Belize, right? First of all, they don't teach the history, you know. And when I was young, they never teach the history in the primary school. You know, in the high school, I was reading, and you know, I didn't know. I was horrified. Like this brother, he and I taught, and together in the town of Dangriga, and he was writing, you know, these horrible things about how the Caribs were cannibals. You know, they still write that shit in there. You know, sorry. And in the PhD Caribbean examination history, right? So with that kind of like, you know, preamble, right? If I tell you something bad about a group of people, you will naturally, you know, want to ingrain that into your, you know, sensitivities, right? And the history had it that when the Garifunas, right, landed in Belize, the British said, well, you stay 36 miles away, you know, stay 36 miles away from the city. And that you should not be seen like, you know, they call it the sunset and the sun rise law. 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. You should not be seen in the city, you know, before it gets bright and you know, after it gets dark, you know, we need to see you, so to speak. And but then the church, you know, saw that the Garifunas were very good with languages, and so had them employed or used to teach and proselytize, you know, the religion. So by doing that, a few Garifuna people were, you know, hold very good positions teaching and other jobs in the government. Now, to me, that is like, you know, giving a little and taking a lot. Because if you look at the government now, right, the present, let's say the present opposition that's vying to take over the government, which they might, you don't see any Garifuna, right, person there.
Okay.
Maybe they make no effort either, right? And if you look at the present government, how many Garifuna people there are in the political, you know, higher up in terms of being a minister of government, you may only have one or two out of, let's say, you know, 30 ministers.
Okay.
Now, the government is trying to say, well, we'll set up an indigenous council, but the government is saying we will appoint those persons. And we are saying, no, that can't work. We need to appoint our own people on that board.
Exactly.
You know? So it's all this kind of like what I call Mickey Mouse democracy and tricks that they're trying to play with us. Now we have a major problem because we are claiming that we've been there since 1801, before Belize became a colony. So there is like Garifuna land. As a matter of fact, the governments have been talking about Carib Reserve. Now, I had a problem with the word Carib Reserve because I was saying, well, they want to put this, you know, as this reserve so we can't move.
Yeah.
Two brothers have been saying the idea of a Carib Reserve is good because there are some lands there reserved for us.
Okay.
So we say, all right, well, let's investigate how much land was reserved. So recently, one of the brothers was doing a little, you know, demarcation. He got some money from the government, and the United Nations came in. So we find out that there's over 100,000 acres.
Wow, that's a lot.
So I tell the brother, so who's keeping this record? You know, why is it not being told that we have over 100,000 acres reserved for the Garifuna? So we blasting this out now, telling the government, hey, we want to manage this land. This 100,000 acres. We don't want, like what you said, your public servants selling the swamp to the Chinese and selling the rivers to the, whatever other people. This 100,000 acres, we want to manage it.
Mm-hmm.
So we have like a lot of Garifuna people educated now all over the place. We could manage it. Because, the government business apparently are selling land. They're selling land to oil companies, these big conglomerates. Now, we don't want to sell. We want to go into joint, exploration with whoever comes in, we want to be part of that. We don't want to sell any more land.
True. So do you guys get the land already? Or you're still...
Well, the land has been demarcated. It has been demarcated, but there's a Garifuna group that has been assigned by the government to kind of like manage that part. Now, we here in the U.S., we are watching, we are looking, and we want to make sure that you all do right. Otherwise, we're going to bring pressure, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Where we are. What we're doing in Belize is different from what we do in Honduras. In Honduras, the military is going after our people and killing them when they stand up for their land along the coast. Now we hear that in Honduras there's a funny kind of business going on. There is the narco trafficking from Colombia, because the Honduran government has left the villages along the coast unattended, right? So they kind of no light, no presence of security. So these traffickers come in and throw their business, and black men don't like white lady. We call white lady in the cocaine.
Yeah,
right?
yes.
We don't deal with that. But the government finally decides that, oh my goodness, the Garifuna people have one of the best land along the beach.
Yeah.
The coast south. No, all the time they were too much hurricane. Suddenly they say, oh, tourism, money. But instead of coming to the people and negotiate and tell let's work this out, this is our plan, they want to kill us out. And literally, news coming out of Honduras now have like some of my sisters and brothers with 16 bullets in the back. This one.
Let me ask you something. 1 minute there. Was there a documentary made about that coastal line with Honduras and the section? Was it Colombia? Was there a documentary on it?
I'm not sure.
That show how they had left it open up, that even drug traffickers are using it as if it's a strip.
Maybe they are. I haven't seen that documentary, but there's one in the Garifuna in Peril called Garifuna in Peril, right?
Okay. I know I've seen something similar to that. I know I've seen something similar to that.
Yes. What I want to do with the brothers, the new brothers and so on, is go in there and do some documents. We need to expose the Honduras government for what it is. As a matter of fact, I was telling some brothers that we might have to start doing economic blockade of Honduras. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they can't get our people right, then they have to get the wrath of the international body. We're going to have to boycott something. Like,
you have to put some pressure on them, some economic pressure,
Yeah, we got to put the economic pressure on Honduras. And that's coming down the pipe, I think.
Oh, that's some powerful thing. So, you have I just say Garifuna is in the government now in Belize.
Well, we're trying to do it this kind of way, brother. You see how once we put pressure on them, and we found out that we were there 1801 before the country even became a colony. So they're trying to hide that history, right? But we are saying no. 1797, the British dumped us on the mainland by, and our people were always moving. So we find places that were abandoned, more or less, because the Mayans were there, right? But we, the indigenous, Africans, because we were there before the Westerns.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We can't let that go. I mean, even the whole Caribbean Sea was named after us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We made that. You know, we don't go away
point.
nothing.
That's a big point.
Yeah,
that's a big point.
Caribbean
Yeah.
Sea.
You know?
That mean there was a
Some
lot.
place-
That seems to be there must be a lot of Caribs then. You know, a lot
Yeah,
of
man.
Garifuna.
Some people get scared. Some people got scared in the fight and ran away. Well, we know that. You know, some people. You know, when Columbus came and he said, you know, cannibal and all them funny things about cannibal this and all that, he was making people psychologically damaged, deformed. Now people made songs and said, "No, you stupid, Columbus. You're the murderer." You know?
Yeah, so Peter
They come with
Tuck
funny
said.
language like, "No, me the pirate. I am a pirate." Some good to the Western eyes, you know?
Yeah.
No, he was a thief, murderer. Give the word. Give it the right,
They
you know,
were robbers,
word.
looters, rapers,
Yeah.
and kidnappers.
Yeah, man. Yeah. They hide it with the word pirate. You know, even Hollywood, you know, trying to like, you know, promote this the glamour of piracy. You know, man. No.
And you know, funny, yesterday they had the celebration, Columbus Day yesterday in the US.
I call off class, you know. I call my class off. I say, watch out, I have time. I need time for like taking this warrior all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta fight. You know,
Man, we have to
this
fight.
kind of where we say deterritorialization in the real territory. We were in St. Vincent, calm, cool, running things. You know, taking care of business. Up come Western man. I want to start a war.
Yeah.
Just because he got the biggest killing ammunition, you know, and then decide he will run things. Well, we're saying no. Reparations. We had our share in the coast on the coast of the Central American countries. We want it, and we're gonna use the United Nations international law to make it real.
Is the history of the Garifuna being taught in schools in Belize and other part of the what do you call it, the region?
The course,
I
yeah.
said no.
No.
Because when I look in the history book, some history books only have one chapter. You know, Francis Humphreys, the one he did with Peter Ashton, you know, out of 200 pages, there are only about 3 pages that reference the Garifuna.
As my good friend Flavius always said, we have to start write our own history.
That's what I'm saying.
So we have to start, you know, do that. Write our books now so that the generation coming up
We have
see
to
that.
write about us, for us.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have to.
Yes. And we what's been written is by these white guys, right? And they just glorifying, you know, the war, and it's more like what I refer to as historicism. You know what I mean? So many men died this day, and it was hard climbing up the hill, and you know, we destroyed so many, and we won this day. You know, just nothing but the pain and the atrocities. You know, nothing about that. Nothing about the experience. You know, so we need to put that in there.
Yeah, man. The food, the music, clothing, you know, everything has to be in it.
Coming back to today now, I know that you are planning a women conference in November. Can you tell us a little about that, please?
Yes, ma'am. So when we examine the strategy, right, it seems with this pandemic, you know, that's coming down the pipe or is on us already, we in the Garifuna Nation decided to come up with a strategy. Since we are here in the U.S., are always concerned about what's going on back home in Belize, Honduras, Guatemala, and Nicaragua. We decided, like, you know, let's celebrate our women, because they are always on the front of the atrocities, of the inequalities of our system. So, and because on the other side, if we do nothing, we know exactly what they're doing. They're trying to destroy our family, right? And the way they will destroy our family unity is by attacking the vulnerable, the women. We have to celebrate our women. We know that men are being attacked.
Yeah,
we know that. That's very obvious.
We are getting physically them doing it to us.
Yeah, physically, right? And man reaching for his ID, he gets 10 bullets.
Yeah.
You show no ID, didn't get 20 bullets.
Exactly.
Right? You say your arm, you still get several bullets. So what do? Well, we can't surrender. We got to move on. We got to strategize. So we're going to celebrate the women at this conference and tell them, how important they are to our families. Meanwhile, we men, we need to soak it in. Let's hear from our women how it's going. What are the concerns? So that we get the agenda moving forward. Because this is not just a one-man show, right? I think James Brown said, it's a man world, but we can't do nothing without women.
Yeah.
So we are acknowledging that.
True. That's good. That is so good. Big up the women them.
Yeah, they want to go.
And that's what in the 20, when that date is what, the 22nd?
20th.
The 20th and the 21st.
The 20th and the 21st.
We do it deliberately because November 19th is when the Garifuna community in Belize and the whole country celebrates National Garifuna Day.
Yes, right. I heard about that one.
Yeah, so we wanted people to take, we don't want to disrupt anything, but we wanted to be serious and intentional about our reflection, right? So immediately after the day done and the celebration done, right? Because I know, the sellers of liquors and beers will be making, the grand number of money, right? And I don't really want to be a interrupter of the capitalist flow, but I want to be intentional and reflective of what's going on 19th. My brothers, I would say, we're going on November 19th. Who make all the money? So you may celebrate, but some of we were commemorating. So the 20th, the day after, the work begins.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? So they can't say I was trying to spoil the celebration. What I'm saying, I'm fortifying the celebration. Because after you celebrate, and follow them with so much, trying to make us, whatever they intend to, we go reflect on the 20th, the next day. So we have to take stock. This is not for the man to be making liquor, and, dropping a few pennies here and say, oh, the Garifuna people, had a great celebration. No, this is nothing about celebration. On the next day, the 20th, we're going to reflect and take some serious positions on what's been going down the pipe that we don't like.
Yeah, after.
So the timing of the celebrating of women is very important, especially under this umbrella of the pandemic. You see me?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. You're absolutely right. So the 19th is a National Garifuna Day.
Yeah,
the whole nation celebrate that.
Yeah, we got it to that point. We started only with Dangrega first. I was right too, because we had to tell the government, listen, we want our name on the map. Change this town from Tankrick Town, right, to this western word, and put our Garifuna name on it, Dangrega. Okay. And that was a big fight.
That's what I was going to ask you. How did it all happen? How did it came to being?
Well, we had a few, strong Garifuna leaders in the community, right? And also the government was, I think, striving to get its independence. So this whole movement of the anti-colonial, right? Thing for independence, the Black Power movement, right? The Caribbean movement in the late early 70s, early 80s, right? Was kind of seeping into the community and say, we want to identify, we want to identify with our brothers and sisters in Africa in the Caribbean. You know, we want our identity because we're unique. You know, so put the way we refer to the town before the Western people came, put our name on it. So we changed the Sankwick town to Dangriga. A few people still upset about that, you know. Many people still upset. You still hear them, oh, you know, they put this Garifuna name on this town. But, well, it's there now, Dangriga.
And how long you guys have this Garifuna there? How long it's been?
I would want to say, because it was before independence. We got independence in 81, so it was before then. Since the early 80s.
Okay. That's good. That's good. It's over some decades ago. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Good.
Yeah. Now we have the cultural. We winning culturally, but now we have that economic inequality to look after. You know, that's the big fight. The inequalities that the system continues to, you know, perpetrate. You know, like for example, quite recently, a sister spoke Garifuna in the bank. You know, and she was fired. Well, we had to do, you know, round up our people and had a big demonstration outside of the bank to tell the bank, like, you know, we can't tolerate that in here. And it was First Caribbean Bank, but since then the First Caribbean Bank moved out of town.
Okay. So them have discrimination in the workplace.
Yeah, even discrimination. I'm not too sure. Recently, I was listening to some law that said that you can't go to work in braids. I was like, what? I need to like get back and find out how that happened. You know, and braids outlawed, or dread outlawed, something in the public job or something like that. And I was like, man, is that happening right now in the 20th century? So that's another fight, it seems.
Like your clothing, your style of dressing, I see the females, them, you know, have these, what you call it, head wrap and thing.
Yes.
You know, I like the colors of some of the outfit. Are they allowed to wear them as well at work?
Yes, they're allowed to wear them at work. Yeah.
Okay.
So far.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's some good progress so far. On the day of the woman conference, it's a 2-day event.
Yes.
Are there any main speakers coming from outside the country to come in and talk?
Because Garifuna Nation is a co-sponsor, I need to talk to Cynthia Ellis. She's the main, you know, convener. Right, we're giving her support.
Lubafu. East Finney. Yeah. I can't remember. Lubafu,
Ubafu, power.
Yeah.
Power to the Garifuna.
I call her Queen Lubafu.
Yeah. So, I didn't say anybody's coming from outside. We would like to, but with this pandemic, you know, we don't want to push it. So we do have some people in Garifuna. I think one of the judges is a Garifuna woman, and so we might have her talk to the group. We know Afro Creole sister from Belize, from Central. She might do some presentations. But on the last day, I'm telling the brothers, on the last day of the conference, we want to do significant. You know, we want to like present ourselves and make a statement that we appreciate, you know, what our, you know, women and sisters have been doing in the culture, and then we men should take it from there.
True.
You know, we take, you know, whatever project proposals were presented before, and we look at those proposals and give it our full support.
That's true.
And so, kind of like emphasize intentional, right? Intentional. We don't want to move just, you know, willy-nilly here and there. We want to like be intentional. Like, why are we doing this? Well, we're doing this because, you know, the family is under attack. The men are being killed. You know, the men are being targeted. So what do? We go back to family, right? We go back to the the round table of the family and say, all right, look, I want you, my sister, right, to know that I appreciate everything you're doing out for us. You know what I mean? They struggle hard, and you know, we will not fall divided. We gonna unite.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let me hear something about you, a little bit about you, because I know you teach and you lecture as well.
Yeah. So
have you written any books yet?
No, I've written any books. I've written a few articles. When I was doing this masters with the English literature people here in the West, you know, I came to the US 20 years ago, right? So I came like a little mature, 40 years old, but you know, never lived in the United States, right? So I was attracted to the literature, you know, after a bit of Caribbean literature and Belize and so on. I wanted to expand, so I came to this University San Jose. But man, I told you, I took 30 units of madness, you know, what you call them, death and literature, right? And after a while, I got bored and tired, and I said, let me focus on Derek Walcott as like my literature mentor, right?
Okay.
But I didn't know how the racism thing worked. So when I mentioned Derek Walcott, people got silent. And they started like cheering, oh, you want to work on Derek Walcott, huh? And I couldn't understand. So when I really get into Derek Walcott, coming from Belize, I say, I have to do Derek Walcott, because coming from Belize, I should know something about Derek Walcott. You know what I mean? How come I got it for him? I mean, at 40 years old, I was like disgusted with myself. I said, I got to study Derek Walcott. After all, he's living.
Yeah.
He's a Nobel laureate thing. How come I don't know? You see how this thing works, my brother.
Yeah.
So I get into Derek. Well, when I got into Derek, I was like, wow, Derek is a serious man with the language. No wonder the white man was telling me, don't do him.
Don't want you know much about him.
No.
Yeah.
He discouraged me. And when I start work with Derek, you know, they put me in circles. I drop it. I say, all right, forget you guys. I'm moving on. So I did talk to one of my cousins. He was a professor in philosophy. The man said, try to do philosophy. Don't let them frustrate. Don't let them kill your spirit. Because they already had me a kind of way. You know what I mean? So I went to philosophy. And so I finished my philosophy. Quick, get out the way. Move on. But what I appreciated about Derek Walcott and the little argument he had with the next one, V.S. Nepal. Yeah, I know V.S. Nepal. So he got a problem with the Caribbean. You know, he's a great writer, but V.S. Nepal wanted to say nothing produced in the Caribbean. I found that to be, you know, outrageous.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, nothing produced in the Caribbean. You know, here about, you know, in Belize we call it ping pong. You know, playing music on the drums there, the oil drums. You know about that?
Yes, it's ping pong.
You know, he forget reggae.
Yeah.
But we could go back, ska. You know, nothing produced in the Caribbean. The BS Nepal. So Derek was telling him, man, look, if you're talking about imitating and, you know, following people for us, there's no argument, because how does one learn a language? We learn the language, you know, we imitate. We first we mimic and we imitate, and then we come on, we make it our own. Eventually we find our own in the same language.
True.
So be a stop your fool. So I like that. And it was like me, you know, like having nobody to coach me per se in the field of literature. He was saying to me, you have to find like a mentor, you know, who you like, somebody who you know, get to your heart. And so in music, right, young musicians would imitate the best. If you want to reggae, you imitate the best and learn, you know, the art. You know, if you want to go into writing, African woman, perhaps you look at the best women writers, or you know, if you want to go into philosophy, you look at the best, right? And then you build on what they have started. So that was my little spiel on, you know, mimicry, imitation, in the Caribbean through the eyes of Derek Walcott, a paper I had done, when I got angry with those people in the literature department. But before that, before coming to the U.S., I was active with, the Garifuna Council in Belize. Started a little mobile music industry for the brothers who were using a lot of music, move around with the mobile unit and record, put some music and tell them, boy, hey, this is how you could make a little money. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you could do it on 4-track,
Sure.
4-track system. And, I did that. I set up a radio station in Dangriga, community radio, so that we could get our voice and our word out. I worked with the trade union at one time there in Belize, the National Trade Union Congress. That gave me opportunity to travel in the Caribbean and see how workers and their lives were, and which motivated me to start a teachers housing cooperative in Belize City. Yeah, and then afterwards I came to the U.S. But talk about writing, I also did a little thing there for Harvard, review on the Afro-Belizeans in Los Angeles.
Okay.
That piece of work was very important to me because when I did the Afro-Belizeans in Los Angeles, I had to go back to Belize documents, right? And I used the census data. You know what I mean, the census?
The census?
Yeah.
The census data?
Census.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Belize, all right? And what happened when I was looking through the census data, they had Mennonites, they had, Garifuna, we were there, right? Because we made sure that our, data was included. But then there was no Afro-Belizean in the data. There was no Afro-Creole. The only thing that was in the data was Creole. So I said, what? They're wiping out my brother's history from the other side, the Afro-Creole, right? Because if you put in the census data just Creole, it includes the European Creole and the Afro-Creole, so to speak. So you're wiping out a whole history there by not taking the right data. And I'm almost certain that it's not only Garifuna people who left Belize, but there are Afro-Creoles too who left Belize.
You know what you must do now? You must put your pen to paper and turn it into a book.
Franco, one more Franco.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Man.
Can we get a copy of that article? Can we get a copy of that article?
Yeah, I want to look for it because the Harvard people have it.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
That would be nice.
You should start put your pen to paper now, and start documenting things, so you can at least leave a book of detailed information for the younger ones to come up and see, the movements of the Garifuna.
Yeah. You're right about that.
Yeah, you have to.
I hang out there and write it.
Yes, you can do it. You can do it.
Get away from here. So much destruction here in Babylon system. I need to go by the beach or somewhere where peaceful and get vibes. Positive vibes.
Yes. That's good. As a man in the chat room said it, you're the black survivor.
Yeah, man.
And that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
One of my, I don't know this guy, he's in Manchester, England. He just came up with a book saying that he found evidence of the Garifuna connected to the Mali. And so I'm waiting to read that. I'm waiting to read his book to see, what his findings are, because it's that kind of move. I don't want to just stop at St. Vincent. I want to go back further than St. Vincent. And so I will have an argument with my linguist brothers in Belize who are, I think, very Europeanized in their perspective because it hasn't come out. And I don't disparage, the Carib Arawak connections, but I think if you look in the Garifuna religion and spirituality, there are what we in the who study language would say they are cognates, right? They are cognates. You study a word and how it derives, how it come about. Not the foolishness that the Western people impose, when they name things in the Caribbean and stuff. But if you look at Garifuna, even the word Garifuna, right? I mean, if you talk to any African in the present and past, from let's say Nigeria, Ghana, Benin, Senegal, Mali, and tell them, what does the word Gari mean to you? Right? Gari, just the first part of the word Garifuna. Garri, right? Almost close in spelling. They would say it means cassava. It's related to cassava.
Right? Okay.
So, and then I talked to some brothers from Nigeria, Igbo, and then this sister told me, she said, Funa is a one of the cognates in the Igbo language. Funa.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So my linguistic brothers in Belize who are Europeanized in there don't want to make that connection. They want to stop asking Vincent. But I'm going further. I'm going to push the envelope and say, you see,
that sound incredible. Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, you see, Gary and Funa, you check where that come from. Our ancestors were dropping hints, for you younger ones to follow. Now you need to complete that bridge. And I still remember when I took my students to Belize from Oakland. Right? And I said, okay, just listen to the lecture and I'll stop the presenter every now and again and point a few things to you, right, that I mentioned. He was saying to my students, he said, the most sacred part of the Dugu, now listen to the first word, Dugu, which is the name for the religion, right, Dugu. The most sacred part of the Dugu is called the Mali. So I pretended that I was listening. I said, all right, stop right there, presenter. And I turned to my students. I said, you heard what he said? The most sacred part of the Dugu is the Mali. Now, what word in this whole universe do you associate with Mali? You know what I mean? It's the rest of the Mali Empire.
Okay.
Don't get it confused. You think they just made up that thing? You just make up words? We don't operate like that. It's all connected. Then he said, and I said, okay, and then what did he say? Dugu, right? Now, if you go to Mali, there's a whole grouping, nation, if you like, called the Gone. And you know about the people of the Gone. I go stop right there. Because people have to go and do the research at the Gone.
True.
The ancient civilization. So, yeah, on the 12th of October, I took a pause. I told my students, I'm not teaching today. I'm taking it off. Because I got a lot to think about.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, we thank you for taking time out and, give us some history on the Garifuna and tell us also about the Women's Conference coming up the 20th and the 21st, and of course also the big day, the 19th.
Yeah.
Where you guys will celebrate.
Of November, yeah.
Yeah, where you guys will celebrate.
A lot of drumming, a lot of drumming, a lot of, presentations. We got our own queen, Garifuna queen, based on cultural, performances, and of course, a lot of speeches. But that's what we're doing, commemorating the gift from our ancestors.
Yes. Well, we look forward for, have you back again. We invite you whenever you have the time to come and, give us some more info.
Yes, brother.
You know.
Franco, I very much.
And remember, start putting pen to paper for that book.
Yeah, my brother.
You understand me? You have to have that book.
Yeah. Thanks for the advice.
Yeah,
in touch. Yeah.
All right.
Forward, ever.
All right, my brother. You have a pleasant day.
Yeah, my brother.
All right, one
love.
And any way you think that we can be of assistance, just let us know.
Yes, my brother.
We are here to work with you.
Yeah, my brother. Irie.
All right, one love.
Yeah, man. One love, yeah. One heart. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. That was our brother, Mr. Egbert R. Higinio. I have to do it the English way. Higinio. Yes, and we know the 19th of November, it's the big Garifuna celebration.
Yes.
In Belize. And then the 20th and the 21st. It's the women's conference.
Serious business, yes.
And when the women them ready for throw it down, them serious.
Oh yes.
As them said, them run the world. We are just the feet. We are just our face there, and they run the world. So it's that time for us to get out of here, and we thank you, those in the chat room, for being here with us, taking time out. Remember to share it, like it, and tell them to subscribe as well, because if you subscribe, you can also be a participant in the chat room. Tomorrow.
And when you subscribe, it helps us grow the show.
Absolutely.
Subscribe is very important to us to do what you would like us to do and for you to enjoy the show even more. So we're asking for your subscription. It just costs a few moments of your time. And of course, you can better able to correspond with us, interact with us when you do.
So tomorrow we have Miss Bertia Paul.
Yes.
Okay, and she's a retired general manager from the Bay Gardens Resort and Spa in St. Lucia.
And she's regarded as the queen of tourism in St. Lucia and the Caribbean.
All right, so she'll be with us tomorrow in the chat room. So we're looking forward to see you again. So take care of yourself, your loved one, and always remember, prayer changes things regardless of what religion you belong to. You must pray and continue to pray. So this is Franco.
And this is Flavius.
Wishing
you all a wonderful day. And we see you in the morning.
Tafina to take us out.
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless.
All you gotta do is just speak. One word is enough. forget what I was trying to say. I no longer do what I was gonna do, but you're no good for me. That's why me know I send me if it could flee. Me have to take away myself. Me have to take away myself. Me have to hide like a thief in the night. Me have to get out outside. Me have to take away myself. I have to take away myself. I have to utilize my wings. Show the eye clean berries. I said, yeah, I find you very hard to resist. But this relationship I'm gonna desist. But how can I face you when all I wanna do is just taste you? I know you think I play me, I play you, but soon you're gonna see the light of day. Just relax, don't move an inch. I'll be gone in a pinch.
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless.
May I be eyed like a thief in the night. May I forget out outside. May I be take away myself. Take away myself. I have to utilize I wings. Show the eye a clean berry.
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless. Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless.